Hello, I hope your week is going really well. Welcome to a brand new vlog. I wanted to do a bit of a indoor garden project with you today. You will, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I unboxed these with you a few weeks ago. They are wooden boxes that look like sort of, you know, a fake stack of books. And what I have done is popped glass jars inside them, and then I'm intending to fill these with water and then have some ivy trailing out of it and then along the bookshelves. I have finally had some time and I have purchased some ivy, so I thought I would do this project with you. It's probably going to be filmed over a couple of days, as getting the dirt off of the ivy, etc. Will sort of take a few days to do, but I thought we'd start that today. So I'll take you outside now and I'll just show you the ivy plant as it currently is, but this is where it will end up. So I've got two of these boxes in the library bookshelves that I'd like to do. Okay, so this is the ivy plant that I have bought. So that is the type there. And you'll see we've actually already got quite a nice amount of tendrils, so it should hopefully hang over right from the get-go. And inside here there are actually sort of two stems. So if you see, there's one here and then there's another one just here. So I'll split those two out and pop it in both of the glass jars. So as you can clearly see, this ivy is currently potted in dirt. We're going to cut this off, this little plastic thing, so that I can actually get to the tendrils, and then we'll pull it out of the dirt and rinse as much of the dirt off as we can, and then let it soak for a day or two just to get all the dirt off before we actually put them in the jars. So we're going to do that now. Alrighty, so cut the plastic out. And we have just spent a considerable amount of time unwinding all of the tendrils. So it looks like I've actually got three little plants in here. So you can see, and it's got quite significant branches on it already, which is great. So that'll look beautiful in the bookcase. And so that's the three of them there. So then once you've unwound all of that, we will take it out of the dirt. And then try and just, the dirt's quite dry here, so we'll try and just knock off as much of the dirt as we can before submersing it in some water. Okay, so we have the very first one. So you can see here, that's the little root ball there. And we're just working on the other two now. And so we're just popping them in this pot. It doesn't have a hole in the bottom. And then we will fill this with water and just let this last little bit of dirt soak off of it. Okay, so I've just brought these into the laundry now, and I've just filled this up with water. So they're just going to soak in here probably overnight, and then tomorrow we'll come back and we'll see if we can get any of the excess dirt off, and then from there we will transplant into the glass jars. But it's looking absolutely stunning. Already got such long branches, which is just going to be really gorgeous in the bookcases and just add that natural green element that I think that it's missing at the moment. All right, I will probably see. Alright, so we have the ivy soaking in the laundry, and I also just thought today I would provide a quick update on a few products I've shared with you in the recent weeks and just let you know how I'm getting on with them. This here is the Sol de Janeiro deodorant that I unboxed with you a few weeks ago now. I have been using it daily for, I'd say, probably maybe a month, maybe even a month and a half. It is incredible. An absolutely amazing product. I'm so happy with it. The smell is just delicious. It's a really sort of soft, warm, vanilla-y sort of fragrance, and it is a natural deodorant, and it doesn't have the baking soda in it that a lot of the natural deodorants have. In that video where I unboxed this, I explained to you that I had been looking for a natural deodorant, and a lot of people had raved about the Wild deodorant, which I loved, but it's got baking soda in it, and I had quite a reaction to that. I broke out into a rash when using it. So unfortunately that one wasn't for me. So it's sort of been on a bit of a mission trialing different natural deodorants to find one that was incredible. And this one is. It's just the smell, it lasts really well. You know, it does what a deodorant needs to do, let's just say. The price point isn't too bad either. I think it's maybe, it's like $26 or something like that, which is expensive when you compare it to sort of your normal, you know, drugstore or supermarkets sort of spray-on deodorants. But for a natural deodorant, that's actually not too bad price point wise. This particular deodorant does say it's refillable, but I got this from Mecca and they actually don't stock the refills. I'm wondering if this is actually quite a new product and that's why they don't stock the refills. So depending on where you are in the world, you may be able to just purchase refills for this, and it hopefully would be a bit cheaper if you can just get the refills. But such a great product, so unbelievably happy with it. I'm almost done. I think I've got a few more weeks left on this, and I'll be reordering. This is not an ad, not affiliated at all. This isn't even a gifted product. I paid for this myself. And yeah, it's just amazing. So I just want to share that update with you that I have now been using it for a couple of weeks, and it's been incredible, and I'm very happy with it. The other thing that I wanted to share is this book here. Again, you would have seen me unbox this a few weeks ago when I got it, and I don't believe I have given you an update on the book. I have read it, actually finished it a few weeks ago. It was really sweet. Just a very sort of warm, cottagecore, charming, low angst book. It was definitely like a bit of a palate cleanser. So if you've been reading a bit more sort of intense, you know, crime or thriller or quite dark books, this was just a beautiful little palate cleanser. Just a very warm, sort of happy story, very much found family, that kind of thing. So I really enjoyed it for that purpose. I do like my cozy mysteries, my romances, my action adventure and things. And this was sort of a little bit of a cross of all of that. There was a little tiny bit of adventure. There was a little bit of romance. It was kind of set fantasy, very cottagecore vibes. And yeah, that was just really sweet. So I thought I would just give you an update on that. And then I picked up a new book that will be added to my to be read. I haven't read anything from these authors before, but this is going to be my next read. They say it sort of has Thursday Murder Club vibes, and I really enjoyed the Thursday Murder Club sort of series. I've read all of them. I just thought they were absolutely delightful, laugh out loud, funny, really heartwarming. And so while I am not so patiently waiting for the next books in that series, I thought I would trial this one. So you can kind of see here, that's obviously the blurb on the back, and it's really kind of a cozy mystery sort of vibe. A husband and wife own a bookstore. They are retired police officers. And yeah, I'm guessing some mystery ensues. And hopefully it is quite funny, heartwarming, some good mystery, some good twists and turns. But that has been added to my to be read pile, so I'll let you know how I go with that in the coming weeks and whether or not I enjoyed it. Now I might actually pop outside with you and we might harvest some items from the kitchen garden for lunch, and I also wanted to show you how I harvest my spring onions. Alright, so let's head outside now. Okay, so we're just popping out to get those spring onions, as I said. Ooh, these roses are starting to come out. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see how they're sort of multicolored? I don't know if that's coming across very well on the camera, but it's sort of got like all the pinks and the oranges. I've never seen multicolored roses again. I'm so pleased that we got these. And gosh, the smell of that jasmine is just... God, when you've got the windows open like we have today, because it's quite windy, you can smell the jasmine all through the house. It's just, yeah, incredible. Incredible at this time of year, that smell. Anyway, I won't get distracted. So just out here getting some stuff for lunch. I did just want to show you, look at the navel orange trees and all of the flowers. So as I said, we've got an early spring here, and the navel, particularly this one here, as you can hear, it is very windy today. This one here on the end has really just come up with all of its flowers. You can see in there. The navel next to it's got a few little flowers down the bottom here. And you can also see that the lemon tree's got some flowers just there. So hopefully, if we don't have a super wet summer this year, we will get some amazing citrus next winter, some oranges and lemons. Okay, so just coming over to the vegetable beds. I'll just put my little basket down and grab my scissors. So as I mentioned in last week's video, so these are my spring onions here. I harvest my spring onions in a way that I get a continuous sort of succession of spring onions. I actually don't pull them out of the ground. I cut them off sort of down the bottom, very close to the soil, and they just regrow. I'm not sure if that's something that's unique to where I live, because we get quite a long growing season. Maybe in colder climates it wouldn't work. The spring onions wouldn't get enough time to sort of grow back. I'm not sure, but I thought I would just sort of show you what I mean. Let me just see if I can get you in a position so you can see. One moment. Okay, hopefully you can see where I have positioned you. So these are spring onions here. And as you can see, some of them are quite like thin, but some of them are a little bit sort of fatter, basically, a bit bigger in diameter. So what I do is I find the ones that are a little bit sort of bigger in diameter, and then I just sort of cut it off quite close to the base, like so. Hopefully you can see that. And I've actually left the sort of root and the very base of the spring onion in the soil, and it actually will just regrow. So you'll see that this is another one that is quite a good size. So I've got my scissors, and I'm just going all the way down and I'm cutting that off like so. Okay, and then I just wanted to show you here from the different angle. So you can see that's where I cut the first one, that's its little stem, and then over here this here is where I've cut off that second one. So that's basically just how I harvest my spring onions, and those little bases will regrow. And I'll kind of get continuous spring onions from this same sort of crop. I can probably get a couple of months like this, and then eventually, obviously, I guess the roots are sort of spent and that particular spring onion is done, and at that point I just sort of pull it out of the ground at that time and replant, which is sort of what I have already done over here. You'll see I've got some new spring onions just starting up in here now, just so I've got that succession, because I do use spring onions all the time. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because I have seen a lot of other people harvest spring onions and they sort of just actually like pull the whole thing out, which was very unusual to me. I've never sort of done that myself. But as I said, it may just be because they've got a shorter growing season than me, and maybe their spring onions, if they cut them off like I've just done, wouldn't actually have time to regrow. So, yes. Anywho, so I've got my spring onions now. I'm just going to get some kale and some beetroot. Okay, so the kale is still looking good, even in these hot sort of temperatures. I think we've got about 33 today, which is just so crazy for winter. But I can see on the forecast that they're saying in another 3 days, daytime temperatures are supposed to drop 10 degrees. So I don't know if this was just a little sort of early burst of spring and summer. But anyway, the kale is still doing good, so we're going to harvest some of that. And again, I sort of just do something, it's sort of a cut and come again as I do with the spring onions. I just cut them off. Oh, it's very hard to do one-handed. Pop them in my basket. I don't need tons, I'm just making wraps for lunch today. So I just wanted to have some sort of greens. Where else? What other ones are looking good? I'll grab that one. Ooh, some of those around there look good. Spider webs. Always must be very conscious of spiders in the Australian gardens. That looks good too. Oh. That's probably enough, and then I'm just going to harvest this really good size beetroot here. Hopefully you can kind of see that fella in there. So that's that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'll just cut all of the roots and the leaves off of this around the other side where the potting bench is. And then what I do, hopefully you can see that, is I'm just going to cut off just those sort of roots and things like that, just to get that bit of dirt off. And then I cut that off. And that is our beetroot ready to go for lunch. So I will take this into the laundry now and just sort of wash off that little bit of excess dirt. Hopefully you can see. And I will actually grate this and pop it on our wraps for lunch. But yes, cannot get any fresher than that. Welcome back to the laundry. So it's the next day and we're just going through and starting to rinse off the remaining dirt. As you can see, there's still little bits of dirt on here. We're just getting as much as we can off and preserving the roots. All right, and this is what the end result looks like. So you can see there's this little glass jar here and it is full of water, and you can see the roots are all submerged in the water. There is still a little bit of dirt left. That's fine. Over the months and things like that, that dirt will kind of just come off, and the plant will be fine. So then I'm popping into these little book boxes. Now, I unexpectedly had 3 stems instead of 2, so I have just created another glass jar. So I'm just going to pop this up on the bookshelf and then I'll show you how it looks. Okay, and now you can see the end result. So up here are the book boxes, and you can see the vine is trailing out and then going down and around here. Obviously, as they sort of settle in, I can always cut off the ends if I'm feeling like it's a bit too wild. But I've got one there, and then I've got another one just up here in one of the book boxes. And then just around here, I've got the glass jar in here. But I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. Just really softens the space. It adds that sort of natural element, that little bit of color to all of the white. Eventually I'd love to get some prints for either side of here, but it really does just soften it, and it brings sort of quite like a whimsical sort of quality to the space, which I think is really lovely. I'm over the moon with this little project. I had a vision about it and I'm so pleased with how it's turned out. I definitely want to restyle these bookcases, you know, over the coming months, and I'll share that with you when I do that. But yeah, so happy with this little project. And if you love these, I hope watching me sort of pull this all together has inspired you to do something like that in your own homes. Water plants are just amazing. There's not a lot of care. Obviously, these plants are submerged in water, so you don't need to worry about watering them. You use a bit of indoor liquid fertilizer, and you just freshen the water, you know, every so often, so that they just remain happy and they'll grow really well. I went for the ivy because ivy is really great at cleaning the air, and given that it's in this sort of working space, I think having all the fresh oxygen would be amazing. But yeah, just so over the moon. So happy with this. And like, look at this one here. Like, it's so full. And hopefully the others, once they get happy, they'll start to like fill out as well. But it's actually got quite a number of little tendrils coming off of it already, and these beautiful leaves. So happy, so happy. Alrighty, well, that's going to be it for this week. It's possibly been a bit of a shorter video, but I hope you have really enjoyed doing this project with me, and that has inspired you to add some natural elements into your own home, and how easy it is just to add in these beautiful water plants. All right, well, I will see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.